that orangutans are some of the smartest animals on the planet. In fact, they're so smart that they can even use tools. And it all comes down to one very special part of their brain. But more on that in a bit. First, let's talk about what makes an animal smart. I mean, we humans like to think we're pretty smart, but intelligence isn't just about being able to solve complex math equations or write symphonies. It's also about adapting and solving problems in your environment. Like, yeah, sure, we humans have built skyscrapers and invented the wheel. But a crow using a stick to get at a yummy insect is also displaying intelligence. So when we're talking about smart animals, we're really talking about problem-solving abilities. And by that measure, orangutans are super smart. They can use sticks to fish for termites and use leaves as tools to help them peel off bark and access the tasty bugs underneath. They even fashion spears to hunt for bush babies and other small primates. But the real question is why? Why are orangutans such good problem solvers? Well, it all comes down to one part of their brain, the prefrontal cortex. This is the part of the brain that helps us humans plan for the future, make decisions, and basically think about what's going on around us. The thing is, though, this part of the brain doesn't just evolve once. It actually develops over time, and the older you get, the more developed it becomes. In fact, this part of the brain continues to develop until you're about 40 years old, and orangutans have brains that develop in a similar way. As they age, the prefrontal cortex continues to grow and change, allowing them to learn new things and solve new problems. But why do they need such big brains? Well, it comes down to one major threat: competition. When it comes to food, orangutans face stiff competition from other great apes, tigers, leopards, elephants, and even monkeys. If they can't outcompete those animals for food, then they'll have to resort to being opportunistic eaters, which means they'll eat whatever they can find, whenever they can find it. And that kind of lifestyle is pretty risky. You might go a long time without food if you're relying on finding random scraps. That's why it's in their best interest to be smart. If they can use tools or solve problems to find food, then they won't have to spend so much energy trying to outcompete other animals. And there's evidence that competition is the reason for big brains in other species too. For example, some studies have found a correlation between the size of a bird's brain and how competitive its environment is. Birds that live in areas with lots of other birds have bigger brains than birds that live in less competitive environments. And it's not just about competition for resources either. If you're an animal that needs to hide from predators or sneak up on prey, you're going to need a big brain to help you do that. A big brain also means you can learn more, which can help you succeed in almost any environment. Basically, having a big brain is like having a superpower. It's hardwired into us humans to seek out novelty, explore our surroundings, and solve problems. But our curiosity helps us learn new things and adapt to new situations, which is part of the reason we've been so successful as a species. But it's not just us. Lots of animals are naturally curious, and it pays off. Studies have found that dogs who are allowed to explore their environment are smarter than dogs who aren't allowed to explore it. And kids who are encouraged to explore their surroundings and ask questions perform better on intelligence tests later in life. So yeah, maybe you don't need a PhD to use a tool or a 4,000 episode TV show to figure out how to hunt your prey. But a big brain never hurts, and orangutans have the big brains they need to thrive in their environments. And we have the big brains we need to watch 4,000 episodes of a TV show. Hey, don't judge. Some of them are pretty good. If you like optimistic science and tech stories, stay tuned for more. And as always, thank you for watching Sea Show.